You've been told that losing muscle after 60 is inevitable, that once the grey hairs come in, your strength fades out, and there's nothing you can do about it. But here's the shocking truth. That's a lie. Your muscles aren't aging, they're starving. And what you eat before bed might be the single biggest difference between a slow decline and a powerful, independent second half of your life. Because when you eat the right foods at night, you don't just stop muscle loss. You rebuild muscle while you sleep. You reverse years of weakness, improve balance, sharpen your mind, and reignite energy most people think belongs to youth. So today, I'm going to show you exactly what to eat every night after 60 to rebuild muscle, strengthen your heart, and quite literally turn back your body's biological clock. This isn't tea theory, it is a collection of proven longevity secrets used by the healthiest seniors on the planet. Let's get started. A few years ago, I met a man named David. He was 71, a retired electrician, a grandfather of 6, and one of those people who refuse to sit still. But lately, he'd been struggling. He said, "Doc, I feel like I'm melting. I can see the muscle leaving my arms. I can't lift my grandkids anymore." Now, David wasn't lazy. He walked daily. He ate what he thought was healthy, low-fat, light dinners, small portions. But his body was wasting away. We ran a few tests, and sure enough, his muscle mass had dropped by 8% in just 2 years. His metabolism was slowing, his balance was off, and his blood sugar was creeping up. But when I changed one thing, one small thing in his nighttime routine, everything turned around. Within 6 months, David had gained back lean muscle, his posture improved, and he said, "Doc, I feel younger now than I did at 60. What was that one change? He started eating the right kind of protein at night. Because muscle isn't just built in the gym, it's built in the kitchen, and more specifically while you sleep. Here's where the truth gets shocking. After 60, your body can't use protein efficiently unless it's combined with the right nutrients, and especially not if you eat it at the wrong time. So if you're serious about staying strong, independent, and active well into your 70s, 80s, even 90s, then pay close attention. These are the 5 foods you should eat before bed to rebuild muscle and reverse the effects of aging. And trust me, number 3 will completely change the way you think about senior nutrition. Number 1, the nighttime protein your body actually absorbs, casein. Now, most people think of protein as something you eat after a workout or at lunch, but that's when your body already has energy. At night, when you're resting, your cells go into repair mode. That's when muscle rebuilding really happens. But here's the thing, your body needs a slow, steady release of amino acids throughout the night. That's where casein protein comes in. Casein is the main protein found in milk, Greek yogurt, and cottage cheese. Unlike whey or plant protein, it digests slowly, over about 7 hours. That means your muscles stay nourished all night long, rebuilding while you dream. If you've noticed that your muscles are shrinking despite eating well, it's probably because your protein timing is off. You're feeding your muscles during the day, but starving them at night. Adding a small serving of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese before bed can completely change that. But here's where the real magic happens. Combine that casein with a handful of berries or a spoon of chia seeds, and you create a powerful muscle-repairing dessert that also balances your blood sugar. It's one of the simplest longevity secrets I teach, and it works fast. Just ask David. His nightly bowl of Greek yogurt with blueberries became his youth serum. He said, "It's crazy, Doc. I wake up feeling tighter, stronger, lighter." And the science backs it up. Casein before sleep can double overnight muscle synthesis in older adults. But what if you don't do dairy? Don't worry. We'll get to an incredible alternative in just a moment. Number 2, magnesium-rich foods, your muscles' nighttime fuel. This one might surprise you. Most people think magnesium is only for sleep or stress, but in truth, magnesium is what allows your muscles to relax, repair, and grow. Without enough magnesium, your body can't effectively use protein. It's like trying to build a house with no electricity. Nothing works properly. After 60, magnesium levels tend to drop, especially if you take certain medications or drink coffee or alcohol regularly. That's why muscle cramps, twitching, or restless legs often appear later in life. But here's the good news. Replenishing magnesium is simple, and it's delicious. Foods like almonds, pumpkin seeds, avocado, dark chocolate, and spinach are all packed with it. Having a small handful of almonds or a few squares of dark chocolate before bed gives your muscles the minerals they need to regenerate. It also calms your nervous system, helping you fall into deeper sleep, the exact state where growth and healing happen. Now here is where the truth gets shocking. Studies show that seniors with healthy magnesium levels have significantly more lean muscle and better balance than those who done tea. And here's my favorite part. It's not just about strength. It's about independent living. Because when your muscles recover well, your mobility improves, your confidence grows, and everyday tasks, walking, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, become effortless again. That's what real reversing aging looks like. Not magic pills, but simple, consistent choices that rebuild you from the inside out. Number 3, the amino acid that turns back time. Leucine. This one's a game changer. Leucine is one of the 3 branched-chain amino acids, and it's like an ignition switch for muscle growth. Without it, your body can't activate muscle repair, even if you're eating enough protein. Here's the problem. As we age, our muscles become resistant to protein signals. That means eating the same chicken breast that worked at 30 doesn't have the same effect at 60. But when you add leucine-rich foods, like eggs, fish, chicken, or soy, you flip that switch back on. Here's where it gets exciting. One small nighttime snack, such as 2 hard-boiled eggs or a serving of edamame, can give your body enough leucine to stimulate muscle repair overnight. I once worked with a woman named Rosa, 66 years old, a retired nurse who'd started losing strength in her hands and legs. She couldn't open jars anymore. She told me, "Doc, I feel like I'm fading." We added just one thing to her nighttime routine, 2 eggs and a few slices of avocado before bed. That's it. 3 months later, she came back smiling. Her grip strength had improved by 30%, and she said she finally felt steady walking again. That's the power of timing, not just nutrition. When you give your body the right fuel at the right moment, it does something extraordinary. It remembers how to heal, and this is where most senior health tips miss the mark. It's not just about what you eat, it's about when and how you combine those foods for your body's changing chemistry. Because after 60, everything shifts. Hormones change, digestion slows, but your body never loses the ability to rebuild. It just needs the right support. Now, if you think this sounds amazing so far, wait until we get to number 4. Because this one doesn't just build muscle, it protects your brain, heart, and joints at the same time. Number 4, omega-3 fatty acids, the oil that keeps your muscles young. You've heard of omega-3s for heart health, but what most people don't realize is how critical they are for muscle repair and anti-aging. After 60, inflammation becomes one of the biggest enemies of strength. It's what makes your joints ache, your recovery slow, and your muscles feel stiff no matter how much you stretch. Omega-3s, found in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or flax seeds, work like lubrication for your entire body. They reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and make your muscles more responsive to protein. In fact, one study showed that seniors who added omega-3s to their diet built twice as much muscle from the same exercises as those who didn't. That's not luck, that's biology optimized. A simple, actionable way to do this is to include a small serving of salmon or a teaspoon of flaxseed oil in your dinner. Or if you prefer a bedtime snack, mix chia seeds with almond milk and let them sit for a few hours. It becomes a creamy, heart-healthy pudding loaded with omega-3s and fiber. It's easy, it's delicious, and it feeds your body long after you've fallen asleep. But here's where the truth gets even more fascinating. When omega-3s combine with magnesium and leucine, they amplify each other's effects. That's what I call the triad of strength, the three nutrients that together reverse muscle aging, and you don't need expensive supplements. Nature has already given you everything you need in simple, whole foods. Now, I want to pause for a second and talk about why this matters so much. Losing muscle isn't just about appearance or fitness, it's about your entire quality of life. Muscle is what keeps you standing tall, balanced, mobile, independent. It's what protects your bones from fractures and keeps your metabolism strong. It's the difference between thriving and simply surviving. Every year after 60, we naturally lose about 1% of our muscle mass if we do nothing. That may sound small, but over a decade, it's the difference between walking confidently and needing help just to get up from a chair. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing these longevity secrets, because the truth is, muscle loss isn't aging, it's neglect. And the moment you start feeding your body correctly, it starts to rebuild itself. Your body doesn't want to slow down. It wants to adapt, recover, and thrive. You just have to give it the right tools. And we've still got 2 more foods to go that are going to take your results to the next level. But before we get there, I want to hear from you. Which of these foods are you already including in your nightly routine? And which one surprised you the most? Leave me a comment below. I personally read as many as I can, and your story might inspire someone else watching to finally take action on their health. Because at the end of the day, it's not about living longer, it's about living stronger. Now in the next part, we are going to uncover 2 more nighttime foods that don't just rebuild muscle, but actually help you burn fat while you sleep. And trust me, number 5 might be sitting in your kitchen right now, completely overlooked. Let's dive into that next. Number 5, fiber-rich carbohydrates. The muscle saver most seniors avoid. I know what you're thinking. Wait, carbs? I thought carbs were bad. That's what decades of dieting advice have taught us, that carbs are the enemy. But here's the truth. After 60, the right kind of carbohydrate can actually protect and rebuild your muscles. Here's how it works. Your muscles need glycogen, stored energy, to recover and grow. When you eat balanced, fiber-rich carbs in the evening, like oatmeal, sweet potato, quinoa, or lentils, you refill those glycogen stores overnight. Without that fuel, your body can't repair properly, no matter how much protein you eat. But here is where it gets even more interesting. These foods also stabilize your blood sugar while you sleep. That means fewer nighttime cravings, better fat burning, and deeper, more restorative rest. The perfect environment for your body to rebuild. I once worked with a woman named Helen, 68 years old, who swore she was doing everything right. She was eating lean protein, avoiding sugar, staying active, but she couldn't gain back muscle or energy. She said, "Doc, I feel like I'm running on empty." We added one thing, a small bowl of warm oatmeal with chia seeds and cinnamon before bed. Within weeks, she noticed the difference. Her legs stopped feeling weak in the morning. She said, "I wake up steady again. My knees don't wobble anymore." That's because muscle doesn't grow on protein alone. It needs fuel. And those slow-burning carbs are that fuel. So if you've been cutting carbs to stay healthy, you might actually be starving your muscles of what they need most. Now, I'm not talking about white bread or pastries. I'm talking about real, natural foods that have fed human strength for generations. Because longevity isn't about restriction, it's about balance. Number 6, the nighttime drink that nourishes your muscles, joints, and skin, collagen. Now this one is gaining popularity for beauty reasons, but its real power goes far deeper. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. It makes up your connective tissue, your joints, your skin, and yes, your muscles. After 60, your natural collagen production drops sharply. That's why joints ache, skin loses elasticity, and muscles take longer to heal. But here's the life-changing secret. Your body can rebuild collagen naturally when you give it the right building blocks. Those come from foods like bone broth, slow-cooked meats, fish skin, or collagen peptides. Having a warm cup of bone broth or a small collagen shake before bed delivers amino acids like glycine and proline, fuel your body uses to repair tissue while you sleep. And when you combine collagen with a bit of vitamin C, like a few slices of orange or a sprinkle of lemon, you supercharge absorption. This simple ritual, one nourishing drink before bed, can reduce morning stiffness, improve posture, and help your muscles recover faster. It's one of the simplest, most overlooked longevity secrets I know. Now, here's the bonus. Collagen doesn't just rebuild your muscles, it helps rebuild your confidence. Because when your body feels stronger, your entire outlook shifts. And that brings us to the most powerful food of all, the one that feeds not just your body, but your life. Number 7, the forgotten nutrient of strength, purpose. Now, I know that's not something you'll find on a plate, but stay with me. Because in all my years studying senior health, I've noticed something extraordinary. The seniors who stay strong the longest, who recover fastest, who move with energy and clarity into their 80s and 90s, they all share one thing in common. They eat with purpose. They don't just feed their bodies, they feed their why. Whether that's gardening, playing with grandchildren, volunteering, traveling, or simply wanting to live independently, purpose is the nutrient that turns discipline into joy. Because when you remember why you want to stay strong, everything changes. Food stops being a chore and becomes fuel for freedom. I once had a patient named Nora, 79 years old, who came to me completely defeated. She'd lost her husband, she was living alone, and she said, "I just don't see the point of eating healthy anymore." Her body reflected that loss: weak muscles, poor appetite, depression. So instead of giving her a diet, I gave her a question. What did you love doing before life got heavy? She smiled faintly and said, "I used to paint." That week, she went to a local art class. And you know what happened next? Her appetite came back. She started walking to class 3 times a week. She began cooking again, fueling her new life. And within months, her body began to rebuild. Her hands, which once shook, grew steadier. Her posture straightened. Her eyes lit up. When she came in 6 months later, she said something I'll never forget. "Dr. Levine, I didn't just rebuild muscle, I rebuilt me." And that's when I realized purpose is the most powerful nutrient there is, because no food, no supplement, no exercise plan can replace a reason to wake up with energy and meaning. So now you know the 7 nighttime foods and habits that rebuild muscle after 60. Casein for steady protein, magnesium for recovery, leucine for activation, omega-3s for healing, slow carbs for fuel, collagen for repair, and purpose for everything else. But what do you do with all this? How do you turn it from knowledge into transformation? Let's make it practical. Starting tonight, choose one, just one. Maybe it's a small cup of Greek yogurt with berries. Maybe it's a handful of almonds and a square of dark chocolate. Maybe it's a warm cup of bone broth before bed. Do it consistently. Let your body learn this new rhythm. Within days, you'll feel it. Your sleep will deepen. Your mornings will feel lighter, your steps steadier. Within weeks, your energy will rise. And within months, your body will begin to remember what strength feels like. That's not fantasy. That's how your biology works when you stop working against it. Because you're not fragile, you're adaptable. You're not slowing down, you're recalibrating. And here's the truth that most people never hear. Your muscles have memory. Even if it's been years since you felt strong, they remember. They're just waiting for the signal to wake up again. That signal is nourishment. That signal is movement. That signal is purpose. I want to tell you one final story, one that captures everything we've talked about today. His name was Robert, 84 years old, former school principal, widower. When he first came to see me, he was using a cane, had trouble standing for more than a few minutes, and told me, "Doc, I guess this is just how it ends." But I saw something in his eyes, a spark, a quiet strength, so I said, "What if it's not the end? What if this is the chapter where everything changes?" We started small. A cup of casein-rich yogurt before bed, a few minutes of gentle mobility exercises each morning, some salmon and spinach at dinner, nothing extreme. 3 months later, Robert came in walking without his cane. 6 months later, he was back in his garden, tending his roses. A year later, he sent me a photo, standing tall, smiling, surrounded by his grandchildren, dirt on his hands and joy on his face. He wrote, "You were right, this wasn't the end, it was the beginning. That's the message I want you to carry today, because you are not done. You are not too old, and your body is not beyond repair. Every cell inside you is listening to what you eat, how you move, what you believe, and it's never too late to give it a better story to tell. So here's what I want you to do right now. Think of one small change you can make tonight. Maybe it's swapping your evening cookie for yogurt and berries. Maybe it's adding a spoonful of chia pudding before bed. Maybe it's calling a friend, walking a few steps, or writing down what you're grateful for before you sleep. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Do it with purpose. Because every action you take is a message to your body that says, "I'm not finished, I'm still building." And if you felt inspired today, if something inside you stirred and whispered, "Maybe I can do this," then that's your sign. Leave me a comment below and tell me what change you're starting with. I read every story I can, because every story reminds someone else that strength is still possible. And if you found this message valuable, please share it. Share it with your friends, your parents, your neighbors, anyone you love who's been told they're too old to change, because together we can rewrite what aging looks like. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, because every week we explore new ways to reclaim health, independence, and joy after 60. You deserve to live strong, to live free, to live like your best years are still ahead, because they are. Your body has not given up on you. It's waiting for you to remember how powerful you still are. So tonight, feed it, move it, believe in it. And tomorrow morning, when you wake up feeling just a little stronger, know this: that's not luck, that's you. You did that, and you're just getting started.